2021 at 6:03. Take it away, Ms. Broom.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Furman, community, and colleagues. Today's millage rate hearing is the second of 3 public millage rate hearings. Next slide, please. That will be held this month. The first public millage rate hearing was held this morning at 8 a.m. and the third hearing will be held on June 22nd at 6:15 p.m., followed by the final approval of the property tax millage rate at a call board meeting on June 22nd at 6:30 p.m. All public millage rate hearings are scheduled to be held virtually. Next slide. A millage rate is a property tax on the value of a property. 1 mill is equivalent to 0.1% or 0.1%. 1 mill translates into $1 of property taxes per 1,000 of assessed value. Therefore, 21 mills would equate to $21 per 1,000 of assessed value. City Schools of Decatur is proposing to increase the millage rate from 20.25 to 21. The justification for this increase is based on reductions in revenues and increases in expenses. The fund balance for the current year has been drastically reduced due to state cuts in QBE funding of over $1.3 million, COVID-related increases in expenditures, including but not limited to technology upgrades to quickly prepare and adapt to a virtual learning, expenditures to ensure buildings were sanitized and safe for the return of students and staff, increases in instructional areas to provide additional resources to students, and continuing to employ and pay staff who work in revenue-generating departments but were unable to generate revenue due to the closing of school campuses. The district survived the pandemic without laying off any employees and provided step increases and cost of living increases to employees and $2,000 increases to all teachers. Senate Bill 177 Act 431 was signed April 30th, 1999 and became effective January 1st, 2000. The purpose of this Taxpayer's Bill of Rights is to enhance property owners' right by keeping stakeholders informed. Taxing authorities, such as the Board of Education, are required to hold 3 public hearings if adopting a millage rate higher than the computed rollback rate. Additionally, the bill prevents indirect tax increases resulting from increases to existing property values due to inflation. The district is also required under the Taxpayer's Bill of Rights to compute the rollback millage rate that will produce the same revenue that would have been produced on the current digest if last year's millage rate was unchanged and no reassessment occurred. The next slide is the computed rollback millage rate. As you can see in the middle of the form, under the calculations of rollback rate, the rollback rate listed in red is 19.664. This is 0.586 more than the current millage rate of 20.25. This means if the district elected to collect the same amount of property tax revenue for next fiscal year 2022, as we collected for this fiscal year, the millage rate would need to be rolled back to 19.664. In the lower right corner is the calculation or percentage increase in property taxes for the proposed increase in the millage rate of 21 compared to the rollback rate of 19.664. There is a 6.79% increase. This means for a home with a fair market value of $525,000, the proposed tax increase would be approximately $161.15. And the proposed tax increase for non-homestead property with a fair market value of $700,000 would be approximately $205.10. Whenever the millage rate exceeds the rollback rate, Georgia law requires districts to issue a press release, advertise the 5-year history of levy, advertise the public hearings, and to hold 3 public millage hearings. The next slide is a copy of the press release. This was sent to the Champion newspaper on May 27th. The press release specifies the 6.79% increase over the rollback millage rate and also provides the dates and times of the 3 public hearings. The next slide is the advertisement of the 5-year history of levy. The 5-year history of levy was advertised in the Champion newspaper today. As you can see, the net taxes levied have pretty much increased for the last 4 years. There was a decrease of under $1 million in 2017, and the largest increase of 15.43% was in 2019. The proposed increase in tax revenue this year when compared to last year is 10%. The next slide is the notice of property tax increase. The notice of property tax increase was advertised on June 3rd and June 10th. This notice advertises the 6.79% increase in property tax and also the dates and times of the 3 hearings. Additionally, this slide provides the impact of the increase on property with a fair market value of $525,000 and $700,000 as explained on a previous slide. This slide is a visual of the millage rate since 2005. The millage rate increases and decreases based directly on the economy and needs of the district. The next slide is your fiscal year 2022 budget with a millage rate increase from 20.25 to 21. The fund balance is 6.9%, which is within the board policy range of 4 to 15%. This will conclude the public millage hearing presentation.
Thank you again, Ms. Broom, as always. So very well done and informative. You're welcome. So we have about 5 minutes that we will wait in case there is anyone else from the public that would like to come in.
Public comment sign up has been closed.
Thank you, Shana.
Currently, we have no one responding or signing up for public comment.
Okay. All right, folks, this concludes our second taxpayer hearing. We will see you back on June 22nd. Have a good evening. Our meeting is adjourned.
Night, everyone.
Night.